Hello everyone. Welcome to Arab Storytime channel. My girlfriend snapped during an argument about her spending. You're just jealous because I earn more than you. I said, you're right, I'm jealous. Then I showed her my hidden bank account. The balance shifted her perspective. I'm Jake, 28, male, and I should have seen this coming when Elise started tracking our restaurant bills to ensure I paid my fair share, despite her earning twice my salary. We'd been together 2 years, living together for 8 months in her upscale city apartment. The setup seemed logical at first. She owned the place, and I paid her $800 monthly rent, well below market rates. She never missed a chance to remind me how generous she was. You'd pay double for a studio around here, she'd say whenever we bickered about anything. Elise, 29, worked in medical device sales, pulling in about $120,000 plus bonuses. I earned $55,000 as a supply chain analyst for a mid-sized freight company, not flashy but reliable. She knew my salary because she'd insisted on seeing my pay stubs before we moved in together, claiming she needed to evaluate the financial risk. That should have been the first warning, but I was too smitten to notice. Her spending started small, designer handbags here and there. Then it snowballed. 400 dinners, weekend getaways to Napa, a new Tesla Model 3. All while whining she was strapped by mid-month. Credit cards are basically free if you pay the minimum, she'd joke. Meanwhile, she'd give me grief for buying store-brand coffee. Last Tuesday, it all exploded. She'd just spent $3,200 on a high-end wellness retreat in Tulum for her and her sister. I made the error of suggesting she ease up on spending since she'd been stressing about her visa bill. Are you serious? She laughed, incredulous. You're giving me financial advice? You earn less than my quarterly bonus. You're just jealous because I make more than you. You're right, I said, voice steady. I'm jealous. She looked triumphant. At least you can admit it. Focus on your own career instead of tracking my money. That's when I opened my phone and logged into my other account. The one I'd never mentioned. The one with $267,000 sitting in index funds and ETFs. See, Elise didn't know my grandfather owned a few rental properties. Nothing grand, just 3 units bought in the 80s. When he died 5 years ago, he left them to me. I sold 2 and kept 1 as a rental. After taxes and setting aside funds for management, I'd netted about $180,000 from the sales. The rental brought in $2,100 monthly after expenses. I'd lived frugally for years, investing every spare dollar. Her face cycled through a dozen emotions as she stared at the screen. What? What is this? My investment account, I said simply. And before you ask, it's all legit. Inherited properties, sold them, invested smartly, doing this since before we met. You've been lying to me? This whole time? Never lied. You never asked about other assets. You only wanted my pay stubs, remember? The entitlement surged instantly. We're building a life together. You should have told me. Do you know how much pressure I've felt thinking I was supporting us? Supporting us? I pay rent, buy groceries, cover half our dates. How are you supporting us? That's when her mask fell completely. I've been funding your lifestyle, this apartment, our trips, everything. And you've been sitting on $250,000? Your trips, that I paid my share for. And I pay you rent for a room, not half your mortgage. There's a difference. For the next 2 hours, she swung between fury, tears, and odd attempts at making up. Suddenly I was babe again, not roommate left she'd called me to her friends. But the real shock came the next morning. I woke to find her on her laptop, browsing Redfin. I found some incredible houses, she declared. With your down payment and my income for the mortgage, we could get something amazing. My down payment? Well, yeah. I can't break my Tesla lease, but this is perfect, we can upgrade. I'm thinking at least 3,000 square feet, good schools for the future. I just stared. Elise, we're not buying a house together. Why are you so selfish? This is what couples do. They combine resources. Like you combined resources when you made me pay rent while telling everyone I was mooching? That struck a nerve. I never said that. Your sister asked me at Christmas if I'd found a better job yet because Elise can't support you forever. Guess where she got that idea? Update 1. Things escalated predictably. After the house talk, Elise went full charm offensive. Suddenly, the perfect girlfriend. Cooked dinner for the first time in ages, overcooked the pasta, but points for trying. Initiated intimacy nightly. Even suggested we discuss our shared financial future. During this talk, she showed me a PowerPoint. We're not kidding. Slides about maximizing our joint potential and leveraging assets for growth. She'd calculated how much I'd save on taxes by claiming deductions for our future house. See, it makes sense, she said, flipping through slides about interest rates. With your savings and my income, we're a power couple. Why fight this? Because 3 days ago you called me jealous and broke? I was stressed. My job's intense. I didn't mean it. Then came the guilt trips. Her mom called, odd, since we'd met maybe twice, saying how thrilled she was that Elise found someone stable. Her best friend texted, asking if I'd help Elise pick an engagement ring since she's too shy to mention it. She was running a full campaign. The breaking point came yesterday. I came home to find Elise with a financial planner in my living room rifling through my mail. What the hell? Babe, perfect timing. This is Connor from Capital Advisors. I thought we should get expert advice on merging our finances. Connor looked uneasy. Elise said you were delayed but approved this meeting. I approve nothing. You need to leave. Elise tried to smooth it over. Don't be rude. Connor came all this way. Connor can bill you. Get out of my home. After Connor practically bolted, Elise lost it. Your home? I'd own this place. And I pay rent, making me a tenant with rights. Going through my mail is a federal offense, by the way. You're being absurd. I'm trying to help us. No, you're helping yourself to my money. Pack your things. We're done. Excuse me? We're done. You've got no respect for boundaries for me or for federal law. I'm out by month's end, per our rental agreement. Until then, I'm in the second bedroom. Touch my mail again, and I'm calling the police. She laughed. Actually laughed. You're dumping me because I want to plan our future? Good luck finding someone who'll deal with your trust issues. And good luck finding a place this nice for $800. Already signed a lease. Turns out, with great credit and assets, landlords love you. Her confidence flipped to panic. You? You found a place already? When? Last week, while you were in Tulum, spending 3 months of my rent on yoga and smoothies. That's when the real Elise emerged, the one her colleagues probably see when someone snags her deal. You spiteful jerk, you've been planning this while sleeping in my bed? The bed I've been paying to sleep in, that one? She threw a mug at the wall, missed me by a mile but made a mess. You think you're so clever with your secret money? You're nothing. I made you look respectable. My friends think you're a loser. Your friends believe what you tell them. And since you've been lying about supporting me, what does that say about you? She started grabbing my stuff, tossing it into the hall. Joke's on her. I'd already moved anything valuable to my friend's place. She was throwing out old socks and cheap chargers. Get out. Get out now. Legally, you need to give me 30 days' notice. I have tenant rights. The look on her face when she realized I was right? Deeply satisfying. I'll make your life hell. Cool. I'll document everything for the restraining order. She slammed her bedroom door so hard a frame fell off the wall. I went to the second bedroom, locked the door, and started recording on my phone, just in case. Within an hour, she was blowing up my phone from her room. 82 texts, from "I'm sorry" to "You're a pathetic loser" to "We can fix this" to "I'll sue you for emotional distress." Then came the PayPal requests. $400 for emotional damage, $800 for last month's rent, $50 for utility overages, $3,200 for half the Tulum retreat since we're a couple. I screenshot everything and declined them all. Around midnight I heard her on the phone, sobbing about how I'd financially abused her by hiding assets. The delusion was unreal. Update 2. The last few days have been a learning experience. Good thing I documented everything. Elise went from zero to unhinged fast, but in the dumbest ways. First, she tried changing the locks. Came home to find my key didn't work. The locksmith was still there, and I showed him my lease agreement and ID. He looked at Elise and said, "Ma'am, you can't lock out a legal tenant. I have to give him the new key." She argued, but he wasn't budging. "Look, I don't want a lawsuit. Here's your key, sir." He handed it over while Elise stood there, fuming. Then came the utility wars. She cut off the Wi-Fi, changed streaming passwords, and, accidentally, shut off the hot water. Joke's on her. I've got unlimited data and a gym membership. Cold showers weren't fun, but I documented it all and filed a complaint with the tenant board. But here's where she really messed up. Remember Connor, the financial planner? Elise gave him my personal info, social security number and all, from the mail she rifled through. Connor ran a credit check without my consent to prepare investment plans. That's identity theft. His firm doesn't mess around with liability. I reported it, and their compliance team called me. They were very curious about how Elise got my info and why Connor ran my credit without permission. It could cost him his license. Connor threw Elise under the bus immediately, sharing an email where she claimed I was her fiancé with power of attorney. Hilarious. She'd even forged documents. While this unfolded, Elise was spinning a different tale online. Posted about discovering her boyfriend was a secret millionaire who'd been exploiting her generosity. Her friends ate it up, commenting about financial abuse and gaslighting, until I posted my reply. A simple screenshot of our texts where she admitted lying to her friends about supporting me, plus her PayPal requests for emotional damage. Tagged her with, "Odd how I was exploiting you while paying rent and half of everything." Also, $267,000 isn't a million, but math's not your strength. She deleted her post in an hour, but the damage was done. Her sister messaged me privately. "I knew something was off when she said you were broke, but somehow paid for Maui last year. Sorry she's like this." Then came the work drama. Elise thought she was clever, calling my employer to say I was unstable and hiding potentially shady assets. She didn't know my boss's sister is a tenant lawyer. Boss called me in, we laughed about it, and she gave me her sister's card. "Sounds like you'll need this. Also, take a few days off to handle your move. Paid." The tenant lawyer was thrilled with my evidence. She changed locks, cut utilities, and there's a paper trail. This is gold. We can sue for constructive eviction, harassment, and emotional distress. Plus, the identity theft? Criminal charges. I didn't want to go all out. Just wanted out. But then Elise made it personal. She called my mom, my sweet, 62-year-old mom who lives 3 states away, clueless about this drama, saying I was dangerous and manipulative, and she should check on me because I might hurt myself. Mom called me in tears, terrified. It took an hour to calm her down and explain. That's when I decided, full consequences. Filed a police report for identity theft, requested a restraining order with all my documentation. Had the lawyer send a demand letter for damages from the illegal eviction attempts. Reported her to her company's HR for using work resources to harass me. She'd been calling from her work phone. But the best part? That rental property I kept, generating $2,100 monthly? It's in a college town 2 hours away. Fully furnished, 3 bedrooms, ideal for young professionals. Guess who just signed a lease for $2,400 a month and moves in next week? Yep, Connor, the financial planner. He reached out after getting fired, desperate for a place after his firm blacklisted him. Felt bad for him. Elise screwed him over too. Gave him a slight rent discount in exchange for testifying about the identity theft if needed. Elise found out when she tried to apologize to Connor and get him to lie about the credit check. He told her he was moving into my rental and blocked her. Her meltdown was legendary. 67 missed calls in 3 hours. Voicemails from screaming to sobbing to threatening to expose me. Expose what? That I own property and don't tolerate nonsense? Oh no, my reputation. Final update. Moved out yesterday. The last 2 weeks were enlightening. The identity theft charges are proceeding. The DA's office is particularly interested because forging power of attorney documents is a felony. Elise's lawyer told her to stop contacting me. Did she? Of course not. She tried one last play, showing up at my work with a box of my stuff, mostly junk I'd left behind, crying about how sorry she was. Security didn't let her in. Boss had preemptively banned her, so she stood outside for 2 hours. My co-worker Sam recorded it from the window. She put on a full show, tears, wailing, even dropped to her knees. Then, when no one came out, she stood up, calm as anything, and made a call. Sam caught her saying, "He's not coming out." "Yeah, I'll try his mom again." That confirmed I'd made the right call. The restraining order was granted. She's barred from coming within 500 feet of me, my work, or my new place. The judge was particularly interested in the 67 calls and the mom harassment. Her employer wasn't as lenient as mine. Using work phones for personal harassment violated their policies. They didn't fire her but demoted her from senior sales to junior. Lost her company car and about $30,000 in commission potential. The constructive eviction lawsuit is ongoing, but her lawyer already wants to settle. With clear evidence, they're nervous. We're looking at about $15,000 in damages, ironically close to what she spent on luxury goods last year. Here's the kicker. Without my rent money and with legal fees piling up, she had to break her apartment lease. Early termination fee was 2 months' rent, $6,400. She's now living with her sister in the suburbs, a 45-minute commute to work. No more strolling to hip cafes or hosting cocktail nights to flaunt her place. Her sister, the one who messaged me, reached out last week. She's trying to sell her Tesla bags. Says it's for legal fees, but I think she's realizing she can't afford her lifestyle. Mom and Dad won't help. They're mortified about the arrest. Thanks for the evidence, by the way. We've been telling her about her spending for years. My new place is great. 2-bedroom apartment in a quiet complex. Rents $1,600, utilities included. Set up my home office and invested the money I was saving on her place. That $800 a month for 8 months? Straight into ETFs. Started therapy to figure out why I ignored so many red flags. Turns out, when someone makes you split the bill to the penny on a first date, you should pay attention. The rental property's thriving. Connor's a great tenant. Even fixed a leaky faucet himself. Sent me a photo of him barbecuing on the back porch with a thumbs up. Guy's bouncing back fast. Already landed a job at a bank. Elise's last attempt at contact was through her lawyer, wanting to mediate to avoid criminal charges. My lawyer's response: "No. And here's a bill for making me read this." Her social media's private now, but mutual friends say she's posting quotes about surviving financial abuse and overcoming toxic relationships. The comments are brutal. Turns out lying about your ex being broke while spending his rent on handbags doesn't add up. The funniest part? She's telling people I trapped her by hiding my wealth. Like, girl, your spending was reckless when you thought I was broke. My money wasn't the issue. Lessons learned. When someone shows they're materialistic and entitled, believe them. Document everything. Tenant rights are strong if you know them. Never let anyone touch your mail. If someone's love hinges on your bank account, that's not love. Oh, and that $267,000? It's now $271,000, thanks to the market. Turns out, living frugally and investing beats blowing cash on yoga retreats. To anyone facing financial manipulation, your money is yours. A true partner respects your boundaries and contributes equally, no matter who earns more. They don't demand your assets while lying about supporting you. And if someone asks for your pay stub on a first date, run. Just run. The restraining order lasts 2 years. I doubt I'll need it that long. Elise has bigger issues, like explaining a pending felony charge to future employers. Me? I'm good. Better than good. Learn to keep my financial cards close, and that real love doesn't care about your bank balance, but it definitely cares if you lie about it. Peace out. Going hiking next weekend with that camper van I bought last month. Yeah, I bought a camper van. Because I can. And because there's something satisfying about driving away from chaos in a home on wheels.